So like many people, I've succumbed to the trap that is the 9-to-5 corporate lifestyle. And with that, I ended up dropping what I considered my passions, which was drawing and painting. So I created this channel to try and rekindle those passions again. And it's been working out pretty well. I've started painting traditionally again, using oil paints. If you want to see a video about me yapping on about oil painting, I'll link my previous video below and you can check that out. But today, I'm going to try my hand at portrait painting, but we're going to do this digitally. And I'm going to do that by using the iPad mini. So I've had some experience painting with Procreate, but that was like 6 years ago or so. And since then, I've not really touched it. So it's going to be interesting to see what painting on the iPad is going to be like. Especially with this small form factor that is the iPad mini. Look at that, that's small, like it's just the size of my head. Or maybe it's not that small. So yeah, let's get into the video and make a start. So with this first painting, I wasn't really too bothered about trying to render out a cool looking image or anything. I just wanted to see where I was at when it came to painting. Essentially, I just wanted to know if I could actually paint something in a way where you could tell it was a face. And the moment I realized this looks like a face, I thought, okay, painting number 1's done. And so I moved on to the next painting. So I guess this was actually kind of like a warm-up painting, just to see where I'm at. Alright, so with painting number 2, I'm still trying to get used to Procreate itself and painting digitally, so I wasn't really too fussed about using different brushes and all. I stuck with the round brush, and essentially I just treated it like how I would treat an oil painting. I legit just used one layer and just kept building up until she looked readable. But I'm looking back at this and I'm just thinking, yo, this is one jumbled mess, man. I don't know how I didn't give up after finishing this painting. I thought I need to step it up a little. The other one looked a little messy, so I thought I'd try different brushes this time. It seems to be going okay. See, I started to get used to the Procreate functions. I switched the round brush to this hard flat brush because I felt like it accentuated the edges more. Oh, her head is looking wham! Why did I make her head so wham? Yo, the proportions are so off in this. Her eyes in my drawing is just so far apart. Like, there's just too much space in between those eyes. And I'm looking back at it and I'm just thinking, yo, please, put them together, please. And the whole time I did not do that. So from the mess that was the second painting, the first and second painting, to this third painting, kind of semi-looking okay. Like the background still needs a bit of work. But I think so far, the face is starting to be a lot more rendered than say the second painting. But I can see here the nose still needs a bit of work. And the painting itself is still look kind of impressionistic than say a fully rendered piece. But I think it's because the way I paint, I don't even sketch. Like me, I am a lazy painter. Like I like, maybe I just like the idea of painting, but I have no patience, so I want to cut straight to the dessert. I just want to start painting. I want to see the rendered thing already. So I try and skip every little thing as I possibly can. So that means not doing a sketch and just going straight into the painting. That's how I normally do it with my oil paints. So that's how I treated this digital painting as well. And I feel like having too many layers is just too much for my brain to handle. So I just stick to one. I started to add more texture as well. As you can see in the hair, it's got these like rake brushes. So that was quite nice. I was getting a little confident with Procreate now, and I needed something to show for it. Like the previous paintings, they seemed okay. It was my return to digital painting. I was just trying to get used to the program. But now I think, at this point, I'm pretty used to the program now. I know what's going on. I know which brushes I want to use and stuff. So I think with the paintings going forward, I started to develop my own style. So I decided to try and make the painting more complex. I did 3 people this time. But overall, I think my painting's starting to improve. And yeah, I can't lie, this painting was nice. Man, them were looking fly. I think the colors overall, I was getting a lot more confident in terms of trying to boost up the vibrance of the colors. Is it vibrance? Yeah, I think so. Like the colors itself don't seem as dull. They're all pretty contrasty with one another. So yeah, I was pretty happy about that. One of my favorite parts was, see this bottom right half. It wasn't even the faces that took the longest. it was this bottom right half doing the guy's tattoo and the phone. Like, I just like to see that bottom right half just, I don't know, there's something about it that just caught my eye. All right, painting number 5. Yeah, this is my favorite by far. Out of all of them, this is my favorite piece by far. Everything was just working. I was getting used to the brushes and I thought, let me add some texture in this painting. So you can see when I'm painting the face, I'm using my usual style like I did with the previous painting. In the beginning, the clothes weren't adding up. It was looking too plain, but I was trying to get that wool effect for the stripes. I just didn't know what to do for the longest. And then, yeah, I realized, oh, let me actually finally use the smudge tool. The smudge tool to just give the effect that it's like knitted. So I just smudged out the edges. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. The photo was just, this is one of my favorite paintings that I've done. Everything was just working and yeah, I was having fun with this photo. I was adding textures here, there, everywhere, and I was loving it. I was having a good time with this digital painting. So I did a couple for painting number 6. I feel like I'm doing well in terms of trying to capture the likeness for all of these paintings now. So the only thing that I was avoiding was these complex backgrounds. The placement of the mouth, that was really annoying me. Like, you can see me just making a crazy change here. Like, even her clothes on her arm, I'm starting to try and use different brushes, like the rake brush, to connote the fabric of the jumper. And yeah, I think it came out well. Looking back now, I can literally see the improvement from my first painting to now. And yeah, now we're on the final piece. This was the final painting of the week, and with this painting, it was just blown out in terms of the flash being used in the photo. I wanted to challenge myself because a lot of people say you got to use a good reference, ones that are high in contrast in terms of it really accentuates, ones that really distinguish the facial features. So, you know what? Let me see if I can give an example. So like, I guess this would be a pretty ass, like if this was, like if this was a photo reference, it'd be pretty ass. Whereas if I had a photo reference like this, see how the shadows, I feel like you need references like this where you can see the dark shadows. So it'd be a lot easier to distinguish form. But with this photo and this reference, you couldn't really quite see that on the face. So I thought I'd challenge myself and yeah, I feel like it came out good. It wasn't like, this isn't like my best painting, but yeah, I was pretty happy with this. I like how with these paintings, even though I don't do any sketches, I like just looking at these time lapses and just seeing the creation unfold. Like, there's nothing on the canvas and you're just seeing a crazy end piece just come out of nowhere, just based off a bunch of squares, basically. Since I'm using the flat brush, it's just a bunch of squares and rectangles. It's a bunch of squares and rectangles mixed together to form this portrait. That's crazy. Here, let me turn this lamp on. So yeah, those have been my portrait studies for this week. And yeah, I feel like from my first portrait study to the very last, you can definitely see some improvement. So if you stuck around this long, might suggest subscribing. I'm going to continue to make more content like this. So if you want to see me get better with my art, feel free to stick around. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I do see you for the next video.